Let's talk about trust. I believe that the biggest problem that we're facing in the world right now is a complete loss of trust. We have lost trust in just about anything. We've lost trust in countries, in governments, in religions, in banks, in education, in technology, with our neighbors, and with ourselves. What happens when we lose this trust? How do we function as a society, as a community without trust? We don't. Community without trust is just a group of anxious people that are kind of wanting to be isolated one from the other. And that is what we're seeing right now. So let's talk about trust, because trust is really the focus of my work. It's the focus of what I want to really tackle in this lifetime. How do we rebuild trust? What does it mean to trust? Why have we lost it? But honestly, it doesn't even matter why. How do we rebuild it? How can we really create spaces, structures, architectures, ecosystems that allow for trust to be rebuilt? The first step is starting with developing that trust with yourself. If you don't trust yourself, it is very difficult to trust somebody else. You need to first know that trust is possible. You need to know that trust is real, that it's attainable, that it's doable. How? By doing it yourself. Also, once you trust yourself, you won't even have the need to really go through life trusting everyone else. If you trust yourself, it means that you trust your intuition, your voice, your awareness, your choices. It means that you trust that in any given situation, you will know what you need to do and what you don't need to do. It means that you trust that you will go and walk the path that you should be walking at any given moment. So, do you trust yourself? And how can you really rebuild that trust with yourself? Trust is something that might seem very ambiguous, but it really is at the core of ourselves and of our relationships with ourselves and with others. How can you trust the world? How can you trust life when things go wrong? How can you trust the universe when things go wrong? Let me ask you, how do you know they went wrong? What does it mean for things to go wrong? What does it mean for someone to be bad, wrong? Trust can have many different forms. And when we're talking about trusting the universe, we're really talking about trusting that there is a bigger plan. Trusting that every single thing in life is purposeful. Trusting that everything that happens to you is exactly what had to happen to you. That everything is perfect. Now, perfect doesn't mean easy. Perfect doesn't mean happy. Perfect doesn't mean without problems or struggles or obstacles or anything. Perfect means perfect. It means there's no mistakes. It means it is purposeful. It means everything is there for a specific reason. It is very difficult to know what those reasons are when they are happening. It is near impossible. And so usually, it's later in life when you look back at a situation and you can understand the things that it brought you, the growth that it led to, the evolution that you had as you were going through it. But in that very moment, it's near impossible to find that purpose. And so what happens? You need to trust. That is when the universe asks you to trust. It's very difficult also to trust in those moments if you haven't really developed this trust and this relationship with the universe in the first place. That is why it is so important to start to develop this relationship with the universe, with energy, with yourself, with your ability to manipulate energy as well. It's about really practicing this trust when it's a little bit easier to trust, right? When things are good, when things are easy, when you're not being challenged with the most difficult situations in front of you and asking you to trust it. But can you start to trust before, so that when those moments come, because they will come, because every single person in the world has them, because that is part of the point of being human and going through all these experiences and evolving, can you start to practice trust before you absolutely have to? Can you start to develop this relationship with yourself, with the universe, so that when you need to access that trust, it's already there? You already know what it looks like. You already have it.